It is up to us women to teach men how to be in bed. A man will have no idea what a woman likes in bed if we don't tell him. Likewise, I only know what men like because I ask, and they tell me. I'm always shocked how quickly men want their penises touched. Even though I'm an escort and I'm 60, I've been with men, for many decades, and I'm still always surprised by how much they just want their penis touched quite quickly. So I'll have a gentleman over here and we start kissing and making out, and I'm like, "Do you want your penis touched? Because I do not want my genitals touched at all yet." "Oh yeah, yeah, touch it, touch it." They always want it. And I'll be like, "Do you mean could I touch it the moment you walk in the door?" And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." So I'm like, really? It's hard for me to get it. They always want it touched. Like, it can never feel gropey or uncomfortable. I guess you can just go around touching their dicks all the time. They would love it. Whereas for a woman, I don't want, if you go around grabbing my pussy or you grab it before I want it or you grab it, I just like, that's gropey. Why are you doing that? So I teach men. And at first, as an escort, I thought I am doing them a disservice because they're a client and I want to please the client. There's the customer service aspect to my business, right? However, I feel a responsibility to teach men. I feel a responsibility as a service provider that I want this client to come out of my home a better lover than he was when he got here. And the reason that he's being gropey or anxious or too fast or clumsy is because of a lack of education. His mother didn't tell him how to touch a woman. I mean, that would be kind of child abuse. You don't teach your son that. You could teach your son to be considerate to women or whatever, but in school, all they teach you about sex is don't do it because you can get an STD, you can get a girl pregnant, and this is the biology of pregnancy, and don't do it. Pretty much is what they teach you in school. They don't talk about pleasure or consent or orgasms or anything like that. In church, they just tell you don't do it or you will be a sinner. And if you're a Mormon, you're even taught you should never masturbate. And if you have sex with your fiance before marriage, you cannot get married in the Mormon church. You have to delay your wedding. Basically, all boys are taught their whole life, and girls, is don't do it. It's bad. Or just do it with someone you love. It's so bad, you should only do it with someone you love. So people have no idea. And then, where do we learn about sex? In toxic porn, I'm going to say unhealthy, ignorant porn made by porn producers who make it for toxic, dysfunctional men. Because a healthy man isn't going to like porn that is, I think, unrealistic. They're not going to get turned on by it. They're going to know that woman is not turned on and she's faking it, and they're not going to get turned on by it because a healthy man gets turned on seeing a woman in her pleasure. Sure, there are guys who watch that porn. I don't know. I'm willing to be taught wrong, that I'm wrong about this part. But I can tell that the majority of mainstream porn that's out there is fakey and the woman is not enjoying it. And so to me, I'm turned off and grossed out by it. I would love to hear from the men on this part. Like, if you see porn where the woman is obviously faking it, she's not turned on. She's doing what the director is telling her to do. Do you still get turned on? Because a healthy man doesn't get turned on by a woman in pain or violated. Okay, now we as women watching it think that's how sex should be. That's how I thought sex should be. That was my sex education. was from seeing early porn. You know, that's back when it was still on VHS beta tapes. I'm aging myself. Um, and the only way that men learn to be good in bed and to what women like is from a woman. That's where they're going to learn it, is from a woman. And women, the only way that they can really learn is from a woman who's empowered sexually. I have had sex with a lot of young men in their 20s, and many of them are amazing in bed. And the ones that were the most amazing in bed, I've talked about this before, they had a girlfriend in high school that they loved, and she liked sex with him. These two things. They loved the woman, so they're I tend to go for these very like emotionally available, passionate men is what is kind of my thing. And they want to please the woman. They want the woman to be turned on, especially if they love the woman. They want to see her turned on. They care how she feels. They're really paying attention to how she's feeling and what she's enjoying. And if the woman also likes sex and is responsive and is like, I like this, I like that, then the man really learns. But there are a lot of men who never had a girlfriend like that, or they became sexually active later, or they've never been in a relationship, or they had sex with a woman who was sexually shut down. They don't know. So I feel like it's my duty to educate them for the sake of my own body, but also as a favor to them. The same way if occasionally I get a guy with bad breath, I think it's happened to me twice in 6 years. And I'll say, you know, you have bad breath. I say, I don't mean to embarrass you. However, I know you would rather hear it from me, you know, a professional, than a woman that you're dating. Likewise, if they're not if they don't know how to clean under their foreskin, when I have a new client come over, in my introductory text where send my address, I also have certain instructions. And one of them is if you're uncircumcised, please pull back your foreskin, clean around it. I have, you know, you can wash up here if you need to. I always pull back the foreskin and I look and I smell. And if there's any odor or any phlegm, I teach them, I wash them up. I teach them, pull back your foreskin in the shower every time. You don't need to use soap necessarily, but wash all that off. I teach them because their mom didn't, you know, I feel like it's up to us to teach the men. How will they know? Likewise, men have to teach us what they like. You know, we have to teach each other because where else are we going to learn? Anyway, a lot of these men I see are single, or the women aren't telling them, the women aren't speaking up. So for every man who sucks in bed, I'm going to hold the women responsible because, ladies, you have got to use your voice. It's not enough to go around saying, I can fuck like a man, go around humping guys. If you don't speak up for your pleasure, you're not empowered. You're just going along with whatever the guy wants. You are not a sexually empowered woman. A sexually empowered woman is in her pleasure. Emotional pleasure, mental pleasure, physical pleasure, and we communicate that to the man. And that's very attractive to a man. To have a woman sharing her pleasure and opening to her pleasure, not just like, I can hump on any dick, I'm so empowered, you know, and she shut off her heart completely. And that's what I do with my escort clients. I open my heart to them. I make love to them like they were my husband, as much as I can. Not completely, but as much as I can. You know, I make them feel wanted and desired. And I also teach them, and lately what I've been really more working on, and I'm always working on my sexuality. Our sexuality is not fixed when we're 20. It keeps evolving if we want it to. So I'm constantly, you know, challenging myself, working on something. And the one thing I've been really working on lately is like more, how much more can I get into my pleasure and be selfish in that way without being like selfish, if you know what I mean. And actually being selfish about my pleasure is the greatest gift I can give a man, because my selfishness is never about dismissing him or using him, even though they want to be used. I'm like, do you mind if I just ride you the way I want right now and just use you? And they'd be like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I don't want, sometimes I like a man to use me, like right when he's close to coming, I'd be like, just, I can't say this on YouTube, just fuck me the way you want to fuck me. Just use me as long as it doesn't hurt, and it never does, you know? Um, but anyway, the more that we can, it's my responsibility to teach men what I like. And usually what it involves is having them slow down. And every woman is different in what she likes. I have some quirks about what turns me on that's different from what I've read about in any books. I communicate what I like, what I know, and it's interesting because when the men come back, my clients, they remember what I said. They remember what I like because they want to turn the woman on. You know, and me, from having been with women, there's nothing greater than knowing that I could turn a woman on. It's easy to turn on a guy. It takes no skill. All you got to do to turn on a guy is just walk by him. Or little things like just turn around and just wiggle your ass a little bit in his face. You don't even have to be undressed. Just be fully dressed in your jeans. Just turn around and bend over and he'll get hard. It's very easy to turn on a man. But turning on a woman, there's this mystery, there's this like, you know, trying to figure it out, and then that I did it. And there's something very beautiful about a woman who's turned on, who wants you and desires you. So ladies, if you are with a man that you know, like, maybe have a conversation. If you're in a relationship, just have a conversation with your partner and say, you know, I have been having sex with you the way I think you want it, and while I've enjoyed it, I would like to just start doing it more the way that I want and what feels good for me. And just see how he responds. You do not have to have sex with a man who doesn't care about your pleasure. You do not have to be a starfish in bed. You do not. You can. However, a healthy man is going to want to see you in your pleasure. And that doesn't mean you're a slut or that he disrespects you. It just means that you're tuning into your body. You're no longer disconnecting from here down and being passive. You're actually going to tune into your body and be a whole woman. A whole woman. And that means that you have to speak up on behalf of your body. A healthy man is going to want your pleasure. Now, here's the thing I used to think. Well, a guy can come in 2 minutes. My husband can come in 2 minutes, and it takes me 20 minutes, and so it's not fair. And I don't know what to say about that. Maybe it isn't fair. But that's the price of admission. And the, you know, but that goes to why the reason I thought it wasn't fair is because I was with someone who didn't like turning me on, who used sex as something quick to get off, and instead of sex as something to be enjoyed. Now when I have sex with guys, they don't want to come fast. They want to enjoy it. Now, I offer half-hour sessions for repeat clients. I only have one person who ever takes me up on that. They all want an hour or more, and then they want to stay and talk. They want an hour or more because a healthy man enjoys the sexual experience. If you're with a guy who just wants a quickie every single time, I'm going to say he could be walled off. He's afraid of intimacy. He doesn't care about your pleasure. There's a problem there. There's a problem with the guy who wants a quickie every time. And since women don't really care about an orgasm every time, a quickie now and then is totally fine. However, I don't know why so many people have sex late at night when they're tired, when all they have energy for is a quickie. I think sex and connection is an important part of a relationship and should be prioritized the same way as cleaning your house, washing your car, or cooking dinner. These are all important parts of a relationship, and they deserve the time to be given. Isn't it fun to look in your lover's eyes and kiss them and explore their body. Listen to some great music. I always play some music, like my oldies music or my country or my rhythm and blues. And, I will enjoy the music as I'm moving around, enjoy the feeling in my body, enjoy his response. Like, it's just a fun thing for me to be sexual. And I will say that the men that I'm with, they enjoy pleasuring me. Now, not all of my clients want to give me an orgasm. Some of them do. But if I were in a regular relationship with someone, I would expect that a lot of the time. And if you didn't want to put in the effort, I don't know. I just think that it's a good meditative practice for men to slow down and just get lost in a woman. If they're resisting getting lost in a woman or pleasuring a woman and they don't enjoy that, then I don't think they should be having sex with women. If they just want to see a woman as an ejaculation device, maybe they should get like one of those prissy things you can buy as a sex toy, or maybe they should go fuck a man. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, it does take more time, but I will say this. When I'm with a man who really turns me on, it doesn't take me 20 minutes. It takes half that time. When I was married and my ex-husband was just so bored with me sexually, I couldn't come at all. Like, even in a half hour, I couldn't come. He couldn't make me come at all. Whereas these random men can make me come because they want to. I don't know. I'm curious about men who don't enjoy making women come. I would like to hear from those guys. Like, why don't you want to? Why do you think that's work? Is that really a thing that you think is work? A lot of the sex studies that we have are done on younger people, or they're done on college students, and even the dating studies that I listen to on YouTube or read about, they're done from like Tinder or Bumble. They're not done from people who actually meet in real life. I think that there are a lot of holes in our research. So I am very interested in hearing people's like one-on-one personal experiences more than just relying on the studies that I read about, especially for people who are, no longer in college or people my age. Finally, I want to say, if you're struggling with your libido, ladies, the number one thing you can do is exercise, especially strenuous exercise. Strenuous exercise of at least 20 minutes stimulates your sympathetic nervous system, and it stimulates the parts of your libido. I have a very healthy libido. I have a libido that is considered whatever. I get turned on without needing someone to turn me on. Like, I feel turned on pretty much all the time. However, I don't act on that. But I think that a healthy woman is going to have a libido even into way past menopause. But the estrogen can cover up a woman's unhealthy aspects, imbalances. So I attribute my healthy libido to the following. First of all, I'm very aware of my libido. And to me, whenever my libido, my appetite, my zest for life, I tune into that. So if it's not there, I start asking, what am I doing that is diminishing it? To me, my libido is an important indicator of my vitality, my aliveness, and my health. So when my libido goes down, it's either because I'm allowing people to touch me in a way that I don't like, so my body has shut down in response to the way I'm allowing myself to be touched. So ladies, this could be helpful for you. If you're living with someone that you don't want to have sex with, you could have just shut down your libido because you don't want that person to touch you. That's common. Or you don't like that person at all, or you don't like having sex with that person. Also, health. Exercise is so important. A healthy diet. And a low stress life, because stress will kill your libido, ladies. Stress will kill your libido. Stress will kill your libido. Pain, if you're in pain, you're not going to be turned on if you're in pain. Some of my clients I see because their wives are having some kind of illness, they have some kind of pain. It's painful to have sex because their hips hurt, or maybe they're undergoing cancer treatment, or maybe some kind of thing like that. Someone who's sick is not going to want to feel like having sex, okay? If you're in any kind of pain, you're not going to want to have sex. It's just not, your body won't want to. So anything you can do to diminish your pain, to increase your sense of feeling healthy, exercise. And when I say exercise, I'm not talking about like a little walk or a little hike. You have to do like vigorous fucking exercise. Your body needs it. I do my vigorous exercise and then I lay around the rest of the day, pretty much, but I do it. And then also, if you're dry, especially as you get older, I have this rose balm lotion that I use that apply externally because I'm more dry. I tend to have more dry skin anyway because I'm a Vata body type. So, but all those things kind of come in when you tune into your body. Okay, I touch myself, it hurts. Why does it hurt? I'm really dry. Okay, let me take care of that. Like, just start tuning into your body. And when you tune into your body, you can take care of it yourself and you communicate to your partner. And I'm going to tell you, any man that's worthy of having your body has to care about your pleasure, but you are responsible for teaching him. So every time I get a guy in here who doesn't know what he's doing, I know that it's not his fault because the woman hasn't taught him. And years ago, I was with a guy who was offended, and I thought, I shouldn't tell a guy what I like. They get offended, but that was just that one guy. They love it. They love when a woman says, this is what I like. It turns them on. And even though, like, you're touching yourself, you're riding him and you're touching your breasts, or you're closing your eyes and you're just enjoying yourself, and you're just kind of even ignoring that he's there. Try this, ladies. Here's a little challenge for you. As I started trying lately, is like, whatever you're doing with the guy, just enjoy yourself and pretend he's not even there. They love that, because the more that I'm aware of them being there, like, what are they thinking? Do they like this? Does he like this? What is he thinking? If I close my eyes, will he think I'm ignoring him? If I'm fantasizing about someone else, is he going to know? All that stuff kept me too focused on him. And the moment I'm like, I'm just going to ignore him and just try it. And at first I tried for 10 seconds and I tried it longer, and they love it because the more like, good sex requires us to be selfish. I know he's there. I totally know he's there. But that's just a little challenge for you to try, because the more you can get turned on, the more he's going to like it. A healthy man. If you're with someone who's selfish or a jerk or a narcissist who just wants you to do whatever he wants and doesn't care about your pleasure, then I'm making this video for you so that you know that that is not okay and that is not healthy, and that you do not have to allow it. Your mother didn't tell you, your religion didn't tell you, your school didn't tell you, and your partner didn't tell you. So I am mom, Sharzad Morgan, mom, grandma, some kind of sex educator, escort. And I'm telling you, ladies, that any man who doesn't care about your pleasure is a man you should never fuck. I'm going to end it with that. Let me repeat myself. Any man who doesn't care about your pleasure is a man you should never fuck. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. I want to say that again because I wish I had heard that years ago. Any man who doesn't care about your pleasure is a man you should never fuck, get close to, undress, or even kiss. He doesn't deserve you. But it's up to you to teach him about your pleasure, and if he doesn't care, Give him the boot. There's the fucking door. Hit it. Hit the door, man. Because if he doesn't care about your sexual pleasure and he just wants to use you, he doesn't even deserve to be your friend. Does not even deserve to be your friend. Even the men who pay me, they care about my pleasure and they're paying me. And I spent years married to a guy that didn't give a shit about my pleasure, and I didn't speak up, and that was on me. That was on me, and I don't want anyone else to have to go through that. I was ignorant, I didn't know, and now I do. And that is the benefit of aging. And that's why I'm going to keep all my wrinkles, and I'm not doing any Botox or plastic surgery on my face, because it's my wrinkles that are a sign of my wisdom and my maturity to where I have come to sexually. And I'm going to honor that and celebrate that and share that with you. Thank you for watching my video.